6th grade, Module 4, Lesson 24, Classwork. Opening exercise. State whether each number sentence is true or false. If the number sentence is false, explain why. Okay, so 4 plus 5 is greater than 9. So 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. So is 9 greater than 9? Well, this would be false because 9 is equal to 9. 9 is not greater than 9. So we can say false because, say 4 plus 5 is not greater than 9. Three times 6 equals 18. So 3 times 6 is 18, and 18 is equal to 18. So this is true. C, 32 is greater than 64 over 4, 64 fourths. So 64 divided by 4 would be equal to 16. So is 32 greater than 16? That is true. 75 minus 18 is less than, 78 minus 15 is less than 68. Let's do 78 minus 15 would be 63. So 63 is less than 68, which is true. And the final one, 22 is greater than or equal to 11 plus 12. So 22 would be greater than or equal to 11 plus 12 is 23. Is 22 greater than or equal to 23? That is false. We can say 22 is not greater than or equal to 23. Example 1. Write true or false if the number stated for G results in a true or false numbered sentence. Okay, so we're going to substitute a big chart here. Let's start with the first one. It says substitute G with 8. So we're going to go along here and substitute G with 8 for all of them. So let's start with 4G is equal to 32. So that would be 4 times 8. Is that equal to 32? That is true because 4 times 8 is 32. So that is true. So here, 8 is 8 equal to 8. That is true. 3G is greater than or equal to 30. So 3 times 8 is greater than or equal to 30. So 3 times 8 is 24. Is 24 greater than or equal to 30? No, that is false. Let's see. G is greater than or equal to 10. So is 8 greater than or equal to 10? That is false. Let's see. G over 2. So 8 over 2 is greater than 2. Is 8 over 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Is 4 greater than 2? That is true. G is greater than 4. Or 8 is greater than 4. That is true. 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 8. So 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 8. Well, 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 8 is 30. So 30 is equal to 30. So this is true. And the last one, 8 is greater than or equal to 8. That is true because they are equal. Okay, the next one. Now we're going to substitute 4 everywhere for G. So this time, 4 times 4, 4 times G, 4 times 4 is equal to 32. Well, 4 times 4 is 16, so that is false. Let's see, 4 is equal to 8. False. 3 times 4 is greater than or equal to 30. 12 is greater than or equal to 30 is false. 4 is greater than or equal to 10. That is false. Let's see, 4 over 2 is greater than 2. 4 over 2 is equal to 2, so 2 is not greater than 2. They are equal, so this is also false. See, 4 is greater than 4. False. 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 4. 38 minus 4 is 34. So is 30 greater than or equal to 34? No, so that is false. And 4 is greater than or equal to 8. That is false. So every single one of those are false. Okay, now if we replace 2 for G. So 4 times 2 is equal to 32. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 is not equal to 32. False. 2 is equal to 8. False. 3 times 2 is greater than or equal to 30. 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 is not greater than or equal to 30. 2 is greater than or equal to 10. False. 2 over 2 is greater than 2. 2 over 2 is 1, and 1 is not greater than 2. So that is false. 2 is greater than 4. That is not true. 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 2. 38 minus 2 is 36. So is 30 greater than or equal to 36? No. And 2 is greater than or equal to 8. 2 is not greater than or equal to 8. So again, every single one is false. Okay, 0. I feel like we're going to get a lot of falses again. So 4 times 0 is equal to 32. Well, 4 times 0 is 0, and 0 is not equal to 32. So false. 0 is equal to 8. False. 3 times 0 is greater than or equal to 30. Is 0 greater than or equal to 30? No. 0 is greater than or equal to 10. Nope. 0 over 2 is greater than 2. Well, 0 over 2 would just be 0, and 0 is not greater than 2. 0 is greater than 4. That is false. 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 0. So 38 minus 0 is 38. Is 30 greater than or equal to 38? No. And the last one, 0 is greater than or equal to 8. That is false. Okay, on to the last one. Let's see if we can get some truths. We have 10. So 4 times 10 is equal to 32. Nope. Let's see, 10 is equal to 8. Nope. 3 times 10 is greater than or equal to 30. 3 times 10 is 30, so 30 is greater than or equal to 30. Oh, that is true, because 30 is equal to 30. Finally got a true. Okay, 10 is greater than or equal to 10. Another true, because 10 is equal to 10. 10 over 2 is greater than 2. Well, 10 over 2 is 5, and 5 is greater than 2. So true. 10 is greater than 4. True. 30 is greater than or equal to 38 minus 10. So 38 minus 10 would be 28. 30 is greater than or equal to 28. That is true, because it is greater than. And 10 is greater than or equal to 8. That is true. Okay, on to example 2. State when the following equations inequalities will be true and when they will be false. Okay, so let's start with when this will be true. R plus 15 is equal to 25. So what does R need to be to make this 25? Well, 10 plus 15 is 25. So for it to be true, R needs to equal 10. For it to be false, R needs to be anything other than 10. Because since it's just equal, anything other than 10 is going to make that statement false. Okay, the next one, B, 6 minus D is greater than 0. So 6 minus what will get us something greater than 0? So like 6 minus 5, is that greater than 0? Yep, because that would be 1. But if we did 6 minus 6, that would not be true. So it looks like anything greater than 6 or greater would make it true or make it false. For it to be true, D needs to be less than 5. For it to be false, D needs to be greater than or equal to 6. Letter C. Half of F is equal to 15. So it's just equal to. So there's only going to be one right answer. So half of what is equal to 15? Well, half of 30 would be 15. So for it to be true, F needs to be equal to 30. For it to be false, F is equal to anything other than 30. And D, y over 3 is less than 10. So if I were to make it 10, 30 over 3 would be equal to 10, but we need it to be less than 10. So if we made it greater than 10, or if we made y, for example, let's make it 33 over 3, that would make it 11, and 11 is not less than 10. So that doesn't work. So anything greater than 30, so false, would be y is greater than or equal to 30. To make it true, anything y is less than or equal to, y is just less than 30. Because if it was equal to 30, then it's not true. But for example, if y was 27, that would be 9 is less than 10. E, 7g is greater than or equal to 42. So to make it equal to 42, g would be 6. So let's try making g 7. So if g was 7, 7 times 7 would be 49. So is 49 greater than or equal to 42? Yes. So to make it true, g needs to be greater than or equal to 6. To make it false, g just needs to be less than 6. So for example, if it was 5, 7 times 5 is 35, and 35 is not greater than or equal to 42. And F. A minus 8 is less than or equal to 15. So what minus 8 is equal to 15? That would be 23. So if A is equal to 23, then it's true. But this is a less than or equal to. We need it to be less than 15. So for example, if we made it 24 minus 8, that would be 16. So that would no longer be true. So for this to be true, A needs to be less than or equal to 23, and for it to be false, A needs to be greater than 23. Because when it was 24, it didn't work, but anything less 23 or less will get us a smaller number. Exercises. Complete the following problems in pairs. State when the following equations and inequalities will be true and when they will be false. So we're just continuing with the same thing. Okay, 15c is greater than 45. So if we were to make 15 times something equal to 45, we would do 15 times 3 is greater than 45, but that's not true, that's equal. It's equal to 45, but we want it to be greater, so we're going to need to pick a number greater than 3 to make this true. So for it to be true, C needs to be greater than 3. For it to be false, then C would have to be less than or equal to 3. 25 is equal to D minus 10. So it has to be exactly equal. So what can we put for D to make something minus 10 is 25? Well, that would be 35. So for it to be true, D must be equal to 35. For it to be false, D is anything other than 35. Number 3, 56 is greater than or equal to 2 times E, 2E. So, let's see, we want it to be greater than or equal to that. So first I'm just going to find out what's equal to that, and we can work off of that. So what times 2 is 56? Well, 25 times 2 is 50, so 26 times 2 would be 52, 27 times 2 would be 54, and 28 times 2 would be 56. So if we made E equal to 28, then it would be true. If we made it greater than 28, so say 2 times 30, then it would no longer be true because 56 would not be greater than or equal to 60. So for it to be true, E needs to be less than or equal to 28. For it to be false, it just needs to be anything less than or greater than 28. And number 4, h over 5, or h divided by 5, either way you want to look at it, is greater than or equal to 12. So what divided by 5 is equal to 12? Let's start there. That will be 60, because 60 divided by 5 is 12. So if we have 60 fifths, that's equal to 12. So if we were to make it, for example, 65 fifths, well, 65 fifths, 65 divided by 5 would be 13. Is 13 greater than or equal to 12? Yes, so that's true. So it looks like to make it true, anything h, it needs to be greater than or equal to 12. To make it false, h just needs to be less than 12. Or sorry, not 12. 12 is what we were working with. 60. Or we just replace these with 60. And number 5, 45 is greater than h plus 29. So I like to start always by making them equal, and then we can work off of that. So 29 plus what is 45? Well, we can subtract to figure that out. 15 minus 9 is 6. 3 minus 2 is 1. So 16. If we made it 16, it would be equal. Is equal to 16 plus 29. But we want 45 to be greater. So if I made this anything less than 16, for example, if I made it 15, then it would be less than because it would be equal to 44. If I made it greater 16 or greater, then it wouldn't be true because it would be higher than 45. So to make it true, h needs to be, what did we say, less than 16. For it to be false, h needs to be greater than or equal to 16. Number 6. 4 times a is less than or equal to 16. So 4 times what would get us 16? So if a is 4, 4 times 4, that would be equal to 16. If I made 4 times 5, is that less than or equal to 16? That's not, because it's 20, and 20 is not less than or equal to 16. So it looks like we need anything 4 or lower for it to be true. So a must be less than or equal to 4. For it to be false, a needs to be greater than 4. And then number 7, 3x is equal to 24. So 3 times what is equal to 24? Well, that must be 8. So for it to be true, x needs to be equal to 8. If it's anything other than 8, it's going to be false. False, x is equal to anything other than 8. Identify all equality and inequality signs that can be placed into the blanks to make a true number sentence. Okay, so now we're just placing the inequality signs. So, for example, 15 plus 9 is, 24. So 24, we could put 24 is equal to 24. We could say 15 plus 9, we could put less than or equal to because it's equal to, or we could put greater than or equal to. So all 3 of those signs work here in this situation, as long as it has that equal to sign, because they are equal. Okay, 8 times 7 is what? 8 times 7 is 56. So 56 and 50. So 56 is greater than 50, or we could say 56 is greater than or equal to 50. So either of those signs would work. If you want to write them out a little bit better. So for the first one, 8 would be equal to, or less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. And for the second one, it was greater than or equal to, or just greater than. Number 10, 15 over 2 is what for 15? So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. And 10. So 7.5, we could say it's less than 10, or we could say it is less than or equal to 10. So less than or equal to. Number 11, 34 and 17 times 2. So 17 times 2 is 34. So the easy one is 34 is equal to 34. But then we can also use the other symbols that say or equal to. So we could say it's less than or equal to. We can also say it's greater than or equal to. So less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, or just equal to. All of those signs would work in that spot. And the final one, 18 blank, 24 and 5/10 minus 6. Well, 24 and 5/10 minus 6 would be 18 and 5/10. So we could say 18 is less than 18 and 5/10, or we could say less than or equal to. Either of those would work. So less than or equal to. And that is the end.